Hello, welcome to Granada Reports. We are live with the latest across the northwest.
Hello, thanks for joining us. On the programme this evening.
£200,000 to catch Olivia's killer. Crime Stoppers puts up their biggest ever single reward, and Merseyside police reveal more about the gun used in the attack.
Being involved with this gunman and anything to do with this horrendous matter will leave a stain on you for life. Your loyalty to this man is utterly misplaced.
Behind the three dads walking, the three mums grieving. One describes the pain of losing her daughter to suicide. She hopes talking might just stop another mother going through it.
It's not even pain, it's just torment. For as long as we're here now, we've got to try and make that difference, and I think we are.
Will the cap on soaring energy costs help businesses survive the winter? We ask the traders weighing it up.
And the extraordinary home of the artist Ron Gittins in the style of Michelangelo. The growing campaign to preserve not the Sistine Chapel, but a rented flat in Birkenhead.
First, a reward of £200,000 is being offered to catch the killer of 9-year-old Olivia Pratt-Korbel. It's the biggest single reward that has ever been offered by Crime Stoppers.
And at their latest news conference, Merseyside police have shared an image of one of the guns used in the attack. Detectives think one pistol can be linked to 3 separate incidents in Dovecot. They believe the owner of that weapon lives in or around that area, so within walking distance of the house where Olivia was shot.
Well, let's cross to our correspondent Anne O'Connor now, who is at Merseyside Police headquarters for us. Anne.
Well, Mike, we now know that Olivia Pratt-Korbel was killed by a .38 revolver. The second gun used to shoot the intended target, who remains in hospital, was a Glock-type pistol, like the one we're showing you here. The news briefing was shown a map detailing how that gun has been used in 3 separate shootings, including Olivia's murder, in a very small area of Dovecot in the last 2.5 years. First at Wimborne Close in January 2020, a 19-year-old man was injured and a bullet went through the door of a completely innocent resident. Then, just 2 weeks before Olivia's murder, on August the 8th this year, on Finch Way, round the corner from her house, it was used again as rival gangs, one in a car, others on motorcycles, shot indiscriminately near playing fields on a summer's night. The detective leading the inquiry wants those weapons off the streets.
It's very clear to me that their gun is owned or controlled by an individual or group of individuals in this immediate area of Dovecot. For the last 2 years, it has been exclusively used in this area. I would suggest, therefore, that this gun is stored somewhere in this area and may well still be there right now. Being involved with this gunman and anything to do with this horrendous matter will leave a stain on you for life. I have no doubts that when you are charged, and you will be charged and convicted, that you'll be regarded with absolute disgust by your families, your friends and your communities. Your loyalty to this man is utterly misplaced.
And Anne, the reward that we're talking about, that is Crime Stoppers' biggest ever reward.
Yes, Lucy, £200,000, the largest in the charity's history, put up by its chairman, Lord Ashcroft, and a private individual who doesn't want to be named. Crime Stoppers is stressing that it is completely independent of the police, and anyone who gives it information will remain 100% anonymous and may help catch and convict the killer of a schoolgirl.
I think it's just the barbarity of it. You know, a 9-year-old innocent child in her house. This could happen to any family. And Lord Ashcroft and the benefactor who's come forward with these huge sums of money, they want to spend their money. They want to give it away.
Well, there have been no convictions in any of the shootings police detailed today. The detective says there are still some in this investigation who are refusing to answer officers' questions or hand over relevant CCTV. They're hoping that the reward might change that because, as he says, no one should shoot a child and not face justice. Silence is not an option.
Anne O'Connor in Liverpool, thank you very much.
And we'll be giving you that Crime Stoppers number again at the end of the programme. Well, next tonight, we're returning to the 3 bereaved dads who walked 300 miles last year in memory of their daughters and to raise awareness of young suicide.
The 3 dads walking caught the nation's imagination as Mike, Andy and Tim took their message across the country, raising more than £750,000 for the suicide prevention charity Papyrus.
But behind the dads, of course, were their families, backing them all the way.
And as the dads embark on their latest challenge, walking to all 4 UK parliaments in a bid to get suicide onto the school curriculum, Mike's wife Helen has been talking to our correspondent Mel Barham.
You wake up in the morning, it's the first thing I think about. And then I go to sleep at night, I always say, "Night, Beth." She just had everything to live for. And people can tell me till that blue in the face what a good mum I was. But I'll carry that guilt for the rest of my life. And I didn't catch my little girl when she fell. When she needed me most. I wasn't there. She didn't reach out.
Helen's daughter Beth took her own life at the beginning of lockdown. She was 17.
Beth was the life and soul of the party. She absolutely loved life. She lived life at 100 miles an hour. Always the centre of attention. She was just wonderful and so brilliantly talented and so loved by everyone.
Beth's father, Helen's husband Mike, is 1/3 of 3 dads walking. Last year, in memory of their 3 daughters, the bereaved dads trekked from each of their homes, raising almost £1 million for the suicide prevention charity Papyrus, based in Warrington. A year on, they're walking again, this time to all 4 parliaments of the UK, in a bid to get suicide awareness onto the school curriculum.
I'm so proud of Mike. I'm so proud of all the dads. I think last time they walked, we didn't expect the response that we got. And at the end of the walk, the overriding feeling was that they hadn't finished. So here we go again.
3, 2, let's walk!
They began that walk 12 days ago in Belfast. A quick flight to Edinburgh and Holyrood House, and they've been making their way down the country via the Senedd in Wales to Westminster, walking right through the northwest where they currently are now, and every step of that way talking about suicide.
This is a huge problem. This is going to be a huge problem for years to come. I think it's so important now that we start to bring this into the curriculum.
What difference do you think that could have made if that had been in place for Beth?
We'll never know with Beth, but I would like to think if she'd been equipped with that knowledge, she might have just known where to go in that moment. There is always hope. There is always a second chance.
This may be a walk where the dads and their daughters are centre stage, but Helen says that's enabled others, especially men, to open up.
Obviously him and Tim and Andy have an actual, I think, unbreakable bond and friendship now. I think what they've done with each other and talked about together has given them that real bond. And yes, it's made people more aware that men can talk. It does help. It helps people massively.
It's too late, of course, for Beth, but they're hoping her legacy and those of Sophie and Emily can save other lives.
I want to stop someone else going through this pain. It's not even pain, it's just torment. I would love nothing more than to have her back here. But yeah, for as long as we're here now, we've got to try and make that difference. And I think we are. I genuinely think we are. And I think that's why the dads are going again, because that, you know, we've still got work to do.
Hearts go out to you, Helen, and thank you so much for taking the brave decision to talk to us tonight. Mel will have another special report with the three dads on their latest challenge on tomorrow's programme. And you'll find more on this and links to the Three Dads Walking campaign on our website at itv.com/Granada.
More of the day's news, and union leaders say striking dock workers on Merseyside will walk out for as long as it takes. Members of the Unite union at the Port of Liverpool are on strike in a dispute over pay. They say an offered increase is effectively a pay cut because of inflation and the cost of living crisis. Peel Ports say they're proposing the best rise in the industry.
If the employer is making this huge amount of profit, why are they not giving their workers a piece of that pie? This is really just about fairness. There's nothing extreme about this. They're making profit. These workers make that profit for them. They should give these workers a fair piece of the pie.
Genuinely, we understand our employees' concern, with the cost of living crisis, and that's why we've responded accordingly. This is an 8.3% increase in basic pay, topped up with another £750 one-off payment. So that's just over 10%.
Well, next night there is some good news for businesses, hospitals, schools and charities tonight. Their energy bills will be cut by around half their expected level this winter in a support package from the government.
For traders worried about surviving the next few months, it's a big relief, and yet for many the future remains uncertain. Anna Yosef heard from some business owners in Sale.
Weighing up the long-term benefits of a 6-month cap on business energy bills. This greengrocer's in Sale has seen its electricity and gas bills triple over the past 3 months. They believe today's announcement is a step in the right direction, but the government needs to be thinking further ahead.
Because it's not just our energy bills, it's the people who spend money in our shop. They're feeling the pinch, so they're not spending with us. So it needs to be a bigger help to help everybody, not just the individuals or businesses.
This family-run toy shop had to close its sister store in South Manchester earlier this year due to rising costs.
Electricity, for example, it went up almost 3 times overnight, to a point where it wasn't really sustainable. We could have kept going, but it felt like a better idea to just focus solely on our store here.
Energy bills for businesses will be cut by around half their predicted level this winter under the government support package. The scheme will fix wholesale gas and electricity prices for firms until it expires next April. Many believe further support will be needed after the winter to keep businesses on track.
Does this feel like a band-aid?
I think certainly it feels like a bit of lip service from the government. I feel like what it is we've just had a new PM and maybe she's saying what people want to hear, that she's going to support us. And I think that until we have the evidence that that's going to happen on a long-term sustained basis, I really do feel like a small amount will feel like a bit of a drop in the ocean to independent retail.
My energy prices have increased by double, which obviously I've got to heat and light the shop. Obviously we're coming into autumn now, and I've got a fitting room in the store, so it's got to be warm enough for people to come in. Sometimes we have to be a little bit patient. There's been a lot going on in the world recently, and I think the government are trying to help us, and I believe that we will get the support like we did in the pandemic. So I want to be positive about the future and about my business, and every little bit of help helps.
While businesses will be hoping the energy cap gets them through winter, many are bracing themselves for tough times ahead. Anna Yosef, ITV News, Sale.
OK, lots still to come on the programme, including...
We go inside the wonderful world of Ron Gittins. Just who was he? And why does his rented flat in Birkenhead look like this?
And the region's sunflowers are still looking rather splendid, but it's getting windy tonight and will be windy and wet tomorrow. Where does this leave them? Well, the forecast is coming up later on.
But first, time for some sport and exciting times for Stockport County fans, Chris.
Yeah, since way back in 1902, this place has been their home, Edgeley Park, and it's about to be transformed if the club get their way. Today, they've revealed plans to redevelop their stadium. So far, there's just a sketch of their proposal to expand Edgeley Park with 3 new stands, raising the capacity to 20,000. This is the start of a public consultation. They hope to submit formal planning applications by the end of the year. In Rugby League, Salford Red Devils boast this year's Man of Steel. Australian Brodie Croft won the prize for Super League's Player of the Year in his first season in England. He's only the second Salford player to win it. St Helens' Jack Wellesby won Young Player of the Year. Coach of the Year went to Wigan's Matt Peat, while Croft paid tribute to his Salford teammates.
This year, it's been unbelievable, and I certainly wouldn't be here today without their support, both on the field but even off it. Just going to training every day. I've loved this year so much. To be honest, I've told the boys this, I didn't want to see it end. I just wanted to keep on going.
Now to the new basketball season and what's being billed as a new era for the sport in this country. After England's success at the Commonwealth Games, a multi-million-pound investment into the BBL aims to transform the game from grassroots to top clubs like Manchester Giants and Cheshire Phoenix, as David Chisnall reports.
This season, names become legend.
British basketball is back, boosted by England's success. Cheshire Phoenix's Jamel Anderson was part of the historic team that won the first ever 3-on-3 basketball gold at this summer's Commonwealth Games.
I've got people that have come up to me in the street and said, we watched that game and incredible, we never really watched basketball before. So to be part of such a historical game and a landmark game for basketball in England was amazing.
Well, as well as England's gold in the Commonwealth Games, British basketball is undergoing its biggest shake-up in years, with an American investment firm pumping £7 million into the sports here, all with the aim of improving standards right from the grassroots level all the way through to top clubs like here at Cheshire and Manchester.
It's really positive on the court as well. There's a lot of really good talent, not just in our team but around the league. So I think that we might be heading to sort of the best period of British basketball.
This is a sport that's flying across the world. We don't want to be left behind. As British basketball is fantastic. We've just won the Commonwealth gold in the 3-on-3. I think it's all up.
Well, it's all change at Manchester Giants with a new head coach and only one player remaining from last season. Among the new faces is a familiar name, with the son of club legend Mark Robinson returning to the Northwest.
I was born and raised in Salford until I was 5 years old, and I moved to San Francisco, California.
So how does it feel to be almost back home?
Oh, it feels great. It feels great. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else, especially for my first year, playing pro. It's just a great feeling.
Nate isn't the only new player to the league with a famous father. The Phoenix's latest signing, Jordan Strawberry, has a dad who is a baseball legend. Darryl Strawberry is so famous in America, he's even appeared in The Simpsons.
You, Strawberry, hit a home run. Okay, Skip.
How is that? When you have such legacy?
I'm kind of used to it now. Maybe when I was a little younger, it was a little bit harder, but I think as I've gotten older, it's a lot easier, just kind of trying to live up to it, but just trying to create my own name.
Well, Jordan joins a club that won the BBL trophy last season, and both the Phoenix and the Giants will hope this potential new golden age of British basketball will have many more silver linings. David Chisnall, ITV News.
Jordan Strawberry, imagine having a dad so famous that he's been on The Simpsons.
That is so cool, isn't it? Really, really cool. Some of our viewers were shocked last night to discover that you two are brothers. I can't believe they were shocked.
Lucy, trust me, I'd have been more offended if they thought I was Chris's dad.
It's because Mike's inherited the looks, you see, that's what it is.
Right, OK, let's draw a line.
Thank you, Chris.
Yes, thank you. Now, for years, the fashion when it comes to home interiors has been beige with a splash of cream, perhaps. and more beige.
I'll take your word for that, Lucy.
Well, not in the case, though, of Ron Gittins, the artist. His taste in decorating will stop you in your tracks.
It's more along the lines of the Sistine Chapel, and like Michelangelo before him, Ron must have spent years painstakingly painting the works of art there.
But this isn't one of the most famous buildings in the world. This is a rented flat in Birkenhead.
And now, as Jennifer Buck reports, there's a campaign to preserve it.
Welcome to Ron's Place. It's a hidden treasure trove of art and sculptures, only unearthed by his family when he died in 2019. It has a feel of ancient Egypt, with some Greek mythology, all in a rented flat in Birkenhead. This roaring fireplace is the centrepiece, moulded by Ron's hands and used to cook pancakes for breakfast. The flat was his working art gallery, the watercolours making an aquarium to enjoy in the bathroom. Ron Gittin moved into this ground floor flat in 1986, and after an agreement with the landlord, he started to create.
The guy who made this, Ron Gittins, just lived as an artist, and it was a performance his whole life. He dressed as an artist, he dressed his performances, walked around the street, and in his house where he lived, where we're standing now, he made artwork of the fireplaces, of the walls. He filled the place with, his vision.
Ron was known locally as an eccentric character, and amongst the goldmine of memorabilia is a Grenadier Guard uniform he often wore. As a younger man, he attended the Laird School of Art in Birkenhead and had always lived and breathed his craft.
This is almost a piece of theatre or cinema that you walk through. And I think that's quite special because it can't be moved. So a painting or a sculpture can be exhibited in different galleries or different spaces, where this is very much rooted in this place. It's part of Birkenhead, it's part of Merseyside, it's part of the wider regional culture and expression.
It took some time to unearth the art on show here, and it's now hoped Ron's place can be saved and preserved so other people can enjoy it. Ron's niece is leading the fundraising effort, and it already has a high-profile backer in Pulp frontman Jarvis Cocker.
He did respond well to praise. And I think he'd be really happy to know that he was inspiring other people. And obviously, this is one of the reasons we want to save Ron's place, so other people can be inspired to make their own artwork with it.
It is said that art is in the eye of the beholder, but it seems Birkenhead can now boast a new flat full of masterpieces. Jennifer Buck, ITV News.
I would love to have seen the landlord's face when he walked in there.
Absolutely, love it. Now the weather with Joe.
Why do I need a shower? I've been out in the rain.
The faster you go, the sooner you'll be out. You'll save water too.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Hello, very good evening to you. Quite a balmy feel to our weather the last couple of days, and there have been some glimmers of nice brightness around this afternoon, but the clouds are drawing in this evening, and tomorrow we can all expect a spell of wet and windy weather, which will clear through for Friday, giving us a really nice day. And the weekend looks decent, should be dry for our part of the world. High pressure just getting nudged out though as we go into the early hours of tomorrow. A front will bring a spell of wet and windy weather to our part of the world through much of the day tomorrow. That will clear through, and Friday should give some cracking spells of sunshine, with Saturday and Sunday looking good as well for northwest England and the Isle of Man, but feeling a little cooler. Now into this evening, there's bits and pieces of cloud around at first, but there's a fair old breeze, particularly for western coast, quite gusty winds, and that's going to keep any mist and fog at bay, both inland and for the coast as we go through the night tonight. It's dry though, with some low cloud at times, and just waiting in the wings, that rain to the northwest, just pushing into the Isle of Man, probably by dawn. No danger of any frost tonight, 9 or 10 Celsius, the overnight low. Those are the sun times. It's up tomorrow morning at 6:56, setting at 7:10. Now for tomorrow, not a bad start to the day initially, but quite quickly we'll see this rain band moving in. It's accompanied by strong gusty winds, and we'll see plenty of water on the region's roads during the day tomorrow, probably around lunchtime, some really heavy spells of rain. Cumbria is probably going to see the most rain across our region. Into the afternoon, it's beginning to sink southwards, eastwards, and just peter out a little bit by tomorrow evening. Temperature-wise, fairly academic, 19 Celsius, but if you factor in that wind, it's not going to be the most pleasant of days at all. Bye-bye.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Thanks, Joe. Before we go, a reminder of our main news tonight. A month after the murder of 9-year-old Olivia Pratt-Korbel, Crime Stoppers are offering a £200,000 reward for information. That is the biggest ever reward from them.
They've released an image of a gun and say the same pistol is linked to 3 shootings in Dovecot. They say they believe the gunman lives in that area and have appealed for the community to give him up.
The number for Crime Stoppers, 0800 555 111. That's on the screen. The website, crimestoppers-uk.org. Good night.
Good night.